Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I bought myself a new camera. An old camera, the Pentax K-01. I want to talk about this camera in this video. Let's do this. Before we dive in, here are some important disclaimers. I have no affiliation to Pentax or Ricoh. They didn't contact me. I bought this Pentax K-01 with my own money. I found a used unit at a very good price. I have two reasons why I purchased this Pentax K-01. I was really attracted to the design of this camera body. I think this camera has the funkiest design ever of any cameras out there. And I was also very curious about this pancake lens, the 40mm f2.8 that came with the camera body. I thought it was so slim, so small. How does the optics perform? And also, just to be perfectly clear, this is not a review of this Pentax K-01 camera. It was launched in 2012, that's 10 years ago. There are plenty of reviews out there, most of them are negative. I just want to share what I like and dislike about this camera in this video. I personally really love the design of this Pentax K-01 body. I thought it looked really fantastic. I know the design is somewhat controversial during its launch. The comments were either you hate it or you love it. There's no in between. But I think camera manufacturers should be more aggressive and daring when it comes to camera design. I acknowledge that the typical traditional DSLR look, the big large black cameras with pentaprism, that's associated with how professional camera bodies should look, but they become so redundant, repetitive, they all look the same no matter what camera brands. And I think we can use something fresh, something different, something that stands out from the crowd. I applaud Pentax for the effort in making cameras like Pentax K-01. It screams, I'm different. It screams, hey, look at me, I'm a new camera. Although this is a 10 years old camera, the Pentax K-01 produces excellent image quality. I was pleased with the sharpness of the images. It was full of fine details and very good contrast. I get very good dynamic range from this camera as well. I have no issue recovering shadow and highlight in very high contrast situations and still get a very balanced looking images. One thing for sure that I did not see coming from this camera is how surprised I was with the color rendering. The color rendering is very, very good. It looks natural, it looks somewhat organic. And if I were to be really honest with you, I prefer the color rendering from this Pentax camera than from my Olympus camera. And that says a lot. I know some people say, oh, Fuji has the best colors. Guys, trust me, I've used some Fuji cameras, some of the recent models. I just don't see it. The color from the Fuji camera is somewhat off. The red is not exactly red. The blue is different from what you see with the blue from the real life. There is just something not right with the Fuji color. If you want good color, guys, look at what Pentax is doing. Two other things worth mentioning about this Pentax K-01 is the image stabilization. It is a sensor-based image stabilization. I think it really helps to reduce any handshake or camera shake while taking photographs. It just adds that layer of confidence in getting the shot, and I really treasure that. The battery life in this camera is amazing. I went out early in the morning with fresh, fully charged battery. I shot like 1,000 images throughout the day, and I still get about half battery life left at the end of the day. And that's something truly remarkable from a camera these days. It is no secret that this Pentax K-01 does not receive love from a lot of camera reviewers. And I gotta say, after I've used this Pentax K-01 for several weeks now, I do agree with most of what the reviewers are saying out there. Number one, the size. For a mirrorless camera, this Pentax K-01 is bulky. The point of having a mirrorless camera is that you remove the mirror box and the pentaprism mechanism from a DSLR so that you can downsize the camera and create something truly small, compact and portable. That's not the case for this Pentax K-01, although it's a mirrorless camera. But the size is like a DSLR, so what's the point of making it mirrorless anyway? Now, number two, slow autofocus. Oh my goodness, the autofocus is so slow. For a camera that came out in 2012, for example, the Olympus EM5, the first OMD, the autofocus in the EM5 is 10 times or more faster than what you get from this Pentax K-01, and that's unforgivable. Not only the autofocus is slow, it hunts, and I'm not talking about shooting in low light, even in here, out here, under the hot sun, plenty of light, perfect lighting. The autofocus will hesitate, will hunt, and sometimes you miss it altogether. Not only is it slow, it is unreliable. Then, number three, there's shutter lag. After you press the shutter button, you don't get the exact moment. There's about half a second lag, and it's very hard to time the exact moment if you're shooting something critical, say street photography or stage photography. And that's really something that shouldn't happen for any cameras released in 2012. And number four, blackout time. This is so bad. After each shot, you can't continuously shoot. You press the shutter button, there is that 2 to 3 seconds blackout on the screen. You can't see anything at all. You can't compose. Right? You can't continuously shoot. There is that 2 to 3 seconds block, and I think that's very, very annoying. This should not happen to any cameras out there. I want my camera to be fully ready at any time. I want to press the shutter button again and again. And I can see why this Pentax K-01 is receiving so many negative reviews. Now, it is also lack of important features. The screen doesn't rotate or tilt, and there's no attachment for viewfinder. Of course, there's no built-in electronic viewfinder, which I think a lot of people are pushing for during that time. Now, for a minimalist camera, something that is truly fun to use for hobbyists, I think it's okay if you're using this camera just for casual shooting. I think it's perfectly fine, but it's definitely not for any professional jobs or any serious shoots. Having said all that, I do admit I did enjoy shooting with this Pentax K-01 tremendously. Yes, the autofocus is unbearably slow, there is that shutter lag, and the blackout time is really disruptive for my shooting. But when I'm not in a rush, when I'm just taking this camera out for casual fun, it delivers fantastic results. The image quality is excellent. I get highly detailed image, rich in natural color, dynamic range is really respectable. I have no complaint when it comes to image quality. It is just the performance of the camera that's lacking. Then there is this lens, the 40mm f2.8 pancake lens. That lens itself deserves a separate video to talk about. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested to see me talking more about this particular lens, how good the lens is for being such a tiny form factor. That's all I have to share about this Pentax K-01 camera. What do you think of this camera's funky design? Do you think that the camera manufacturers should pursue a different, more aggressive and daring approach when it comes to new camera designs? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. If you've enjoyed watching this video and look at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. Links in the description below on how you can do that. Any small contribution goes a long way, will definitely help me to continue making content and publish them right here. Please give me a thumbs up, comment, share and subscribe. I'll definitely see you again in the next one. Until then, remember to go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.